In today's topic, let's see about volume types. Volume types of an EBS volume. Okay. So volume type. So volume types is categorized into two. One is SSD and then another thing is HSD. SSD is solid state drive. And what HSD? It is hybrid hard drive. Okay. In these two, they both have segregated into different types. In SSD, in solid state drive, there are four types. One is GP3, GP2, IO2, IO1. So here GP represents general purpose and IO represents provisioned IOPS. IOPS are written in next slide. And then in HSD there are three types. Standard, it's a magnetic type, but Amazon have stopped that. And next one ST1 and SC1. ST1 here SC represents cold HSD, and ST1 is throughput optimized. Let's see what are these. Next slide. Okay, EBS volume, performance and types. So Amazon EBS, it provides block level storage, okay, for EC2 instance. Those volume types have a certain price, certain performance, and their durability, and some different criteria to manage the workload. So there are main two performance metrics for EBS volume. The first one is IOPS, which means input output operations per second. Means it measures how many read and write operation volume it can handle per second. Like it can be calculated. I mean, it should be calculated in numbers. I mean, in 1 second, how many read and write operations can be handled? It is that metrics is measured by IOPS, input output operations per second. It is very important for transactional workloads like for large database. It's very useful. And throughput, it is calculated in MBPS, megabyte per second, which means it measures how much data there, how many numbers, like how many read and write operation. It is calculated in numbers, but in throughput it is calculated in MBs, how much data can be read and write per second. It is important for large sequence workloads like data warehouse and log processing. Log processing is very much important. It is throughput performance matrix. Okay, volume types overview. So as I said, there are general purpose SSD, that is GP3 and GP2. So why this is used? For boot volumes, for development testing environment, and some small to medium databases, GP3 and GP2, but it doesn't give maximum performance. Okay, it will give some kind of moderate performance. So only it is used in development testing environments. And GP3 and GP2. So GP3, these kind of numbers like baseline, it have 3000 IOPS, 125 Mbps. Like as I said, IOPS is input output per seconds. Its baseline is GP3 baseline is 3000 IOPS, and GP3's throughput optimization is 125 Mbps per second. And it can provision up to 16,000 IOPS and 1000. It can go up to. And GP3 is a cheaper and more flexible than GP2. More than GP2, GP3 is cheaper. Okay, then GP2 performance scales with size like 3 IOPS per GP for GP2, and it can go up to 16,000 IOPS. It is less predictable performance at small sizes. Then comes to provisioned IOPS, that is SSD, solid state drive provisioned IOPS, that's IO1 and IO2. The major use case of this, it can give maximum performance and can give high throughput transactional workloads. I mean high throughput performance or optimization. It features it can go up to 236,000 IOPS, which is IO2 block express. It is another thing, block express, IO2 block express, and it can give higher durability. 99.99% can give higher durability. It has low latency, which means high performance, and the connectivity is high and dedicated performance. Then throughput optimized HSD, which is ST1. So what we say ST1 is throughput optimized HSD. So for big data, for data lakes, and the streaming log processing, these kind of thing, throughput optimized can be used. It's optimized for only throughput, not for IOPS, and can go up to 500 Mbps per second throughput. Then comes to code HSD, which is SC1. So it is the in everything it is the lowest performance. Infrequently, like let's take in our PC or in our computer. So we have a file which is not used frequently, which means it is used very rarely, or even after the file is created, we don't go to the file. So those kind of files are called as cold HSD. So that is infrequently accessed data, which means backups or archives. Those are we won't visit frequently, right? So it is low cost option with lowest performance. Here IO speed, here we don't need any performance, so IO speed is not critical. Then how to choose the right volume? For many general purpose workloads, we'll choose GP3. If we need high IOPS plus durability on the situation, we need IO2 or IO1, like provisioned IOPS. So if you need high throughput, throughput heavy workloads or throughput heavy requirements or something, if the workload is sequential, we should go for ST1, which is throughput optimized one. And if your storage is very bigger and you don't want to think about the performance, then you can blindly choose SC1 as a cold HSD.